Hi.
Hello. Hello, everyone. We're talking about Traitors, the finale, the reunion, the recap, the whole season 3 of Traitors US. We might come back and talk about UK because the season 3 dropped yesterday, the whole season. But before we get to, we have Victoria and I. We're just, we've been chatting about this show. So
Yes, we're just here to talk the things, share our feelings. I am fresh off of watching it. I watched it this morning, so like my reactions are just very fresh. I have to say though, full disclosure, before I watched the finale, I had to just turn on. I just had to search online and find out like who won Traitors. Like I just had to know, and then I would just watch it to see how it unfolded.
yeah, well, I watched it last night live and I started watching. I watched the first like 6 minutes and then I was like, I needed to know how this is going to unravel. So I waited until the spoilers came out to then watch the rest of the season and watch a reunion. So I slept too late. Like, I went to bed way too late because I was like, I can't take this because, we have the competition and it's like filler. Like, I'm like, no, I want to
Yeah.
know round table. I want to know, are they going to banish the traitor? Is the traitor going to win? I want to know what's going to happen. So that's how I took this episode.
It's so funny you should say that because truthfully, I really don't care about the missions. I can fast
Yeah.
forward through the missions. What I want to see is the conversations in the car to the mission, the
Yeah.
conversations after the mission,
Yeah.
and then going into round table, the conversations in the morning at breakfast before they go on the mission. I just want to hear the conversations. And I think it just goes back to the fact of I consider myself like a reality TV connoisseur, cultural anthropologist, personality watcher, armchair psychologist. So I just want to see the relationships and how everything shakes out. So it's not about the game so much, but I will admit, as it was getting close to the end, my stomach was in knots and I just wanted to know, okay, who went home, who was safe? Okay, now I can watch. Because
Yeah.
a lot of the people I was cheering for in the beginning were gone.
Yes. Yes. Well, let's talk about this season before we get to the finale and we'll go to spoilers at the end. Let's talk about this season. So this season we had a whole set of new fresh traders. We got new housewives coming in that we were looking for. We got Dorinda, we got Yan, we got Robin, which we don't care about Robin, but okay. And then we got Dolores. So we were like, we got this. We got Sierra, who was replacing Lindsay Hubs because there was some drama going on because she was pregnant at the time, so she couldn't join Traders. And I really love Sierra to be in the show. So that's your Bravo celebrities. But then we got Survivor, we got Big Brother, we got these gamers. And then we have Selling Sunset, the Bambies. We got Chriselle. God bless her, and Nikki Garcia. So we have like a new set of fresh of like traders. We got some breakout hits, which we got the token, random people. We got the token British guy.
Yes.
This time was from the House of Lords. Last year was the House of Commons.
Yes.
If you don't know your British government, there's different ties. This is actually part of the royal family. He's a cousin
Yes.
of King Charles.
Yes.
And then
He's blood, okay? He is blood.
Yes.
So let's make that. He didn't marry into anything. He is blood.
Yeah, so we have that. Then we have Gabby from The Bachelor because we got a token bachelorette, and I really love Gabby. I'm like Pilot P last year. He could not stand him. And then we have Sam Asghari, who is Brittany's ex. We have Dylan Efron, who is Zac Efron's brother. And who else do we have? Those are our token. And then we got Tom Sandoval, which we're like, what are we feeling with Tom Sandoval here? Because we both are seasoned Vanderpump rules, and we were invested in Scandal. So it's like we're not like foreign. We had no idea who this man is. No, we know this man. We have seen this man multiple relationships for 10 years.
We've known this man for 10 years. He's not a stranger to us. I will say, clearly the reception to him from people who don't know him is very different.
Yes.
But we know this man. We know this man. We do not support this man's behavior.
No.
But I do want to talk about the cast. I legit just Googled it, and I think Wikipedia organized it in order of like how people were eliminated. So the first one was Dorinda.
Yeah.
Okay. Dorinda got away. My thoughts on Dorinda is I felt like we lost Dorinda too soon.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see her commentary. I would love to see her brain work. I'd love to see her go off the walls, because we know Dorinda from Real Housewives of New York.
Yes.
Dorinda is mental. Okay. So it would have been great TV, and I felt like we were robbed.
Yes, we were robbed. Like, I think that was like the biggest shocker. And for invested Bravo housewife historians that are us, this is like, it's like, what are you doing? You're wasting good TV. And so in some ways, the creators need to understand we need people to make good TV, which is dramatic. It's just messy. It's just like, what are we watching? That's what we want. We do not want someone who's like, I'm a strategist, I'm going to try to win this game. No. We want messy stuff.
Exactly. And then in order now, we have Wells Adams, who was on The Bachelorette. I don't do Bachelor Nation, so I don't know any of these Bachelorette people. I'm meeting them for the first time. So Wells was someone I met for the first time. Clearly was not invested in him. He was gone at the first Banishment, so, you know.
Yeah, he was. I've seen him in Bachelor Paradise. He serves as a bartender. He's like the ear. He's married to Sarah Hyland, who was in Modern Family.
I know Sarah Hyland, yeah.
And she was at one point, she was the host for Love Island. So he's involved in reality. He has done multiple reality TVs,
right?
But not in the Peacock world that we typically Peacock, NBCUniversal that we have watched. He's in the other channel.
Okay. Then Chanel Ayan, another housewife, was murdered. Again, at this point, I felt like, obviously, they were targeting housewives. I was not happy about it. Chanel Ayan, I do love her from Dubai. She's over the top. She's dramatic. She's loud, but she's also funny. And I kind of felt like I also lost out on amazing fashions, because she's a model in real life, and all these designers want to dress her. So she would be pretty to look at. She would be very funny. It would be comic relief, because she has no idea what she's doing. She doesn't even know where she is. Clueless, 100%. So this was like another one where I felt like robbed, like really, really robbed.
And Chanel doesn't know any of these people because she's in Dubai. She's like not even related to US market, US TV. She has no idea who these people are. And I think it's like sometimes you need that clueless person, just like Laura Ivar, who'd be like, I don't know who these people are. Like you need that clueless and be like, oh, I get to know you, who you are. Like I think at one point where they're asking Sam, who's Brittany? Like I think Dorinda was asking Sam about his house as like ex-wife, and she had no idea that his ex-wife is Britney Spears. So it's like the level, like these people are clueless about each other. We as a viewer are invested. We know everything about them. We're parasocial relationships are on point.
Are very deep.
They are not. And so it's just Chanel will have been so clueless about these people. I feel like what does mean the biggest loser? You were yelling at people to lose weight? Like you can't even run a mile.
It's so funny. I know it would be funny watching her trying to do the challenge. The next two I have like who left is Tony and Jeremy, both from Survivor. Again, I'm not a Survivor girly, so I don't know them. So it was just like whatever. They're gone.
Yeah. Oh, we have to talk about the people who were added on late in that episode. We had Derek.
Oh, that is coming. That is coming. Yeah. We also have Bob the drag queen, who is a very interesting character. I want to talk about Bob before we get to the Cage Boys, which is what they were called as. Can we talk about Bob? First of all, Bob was serving fashions. I don't watch drag queen, so again, I didn't know Bob from anywhere. But the fashions were fashioning, but he was very outspoken, and I kind of felt like that would have made him a target anyway. I was neutral about Bob in the beginning, but then I felt like he was a housewife killer.
Yes, he's like, I had no idea who you are. I'm like, sir, or ma'am, what are you talking about? Like, no, the housewives it's a cultural icon. Like these women are cultural icons.
National treasures, protect at all costs. And he's out here murdering them.
And Dorinda, make it nice. I'm not well, bitch.
Thank you. Cultural icons. Okay, the Cage Boys were, let me see, Wes, Derek, and Rob.
Yes.
Okay, Rob is from Pensacola, Florida.
Yeah, so I actually know this because these are old school from the aughts. So Wes was in Real World Road Rules. I think he was in Real
Yes,
World, and then
West
he
Rules.
went to
Mhm.
Challenge, and he's been a long-standing Challenge winner. I've seen him from his reality TV when he was not playing at the Challenge, like that stuff. He's actually great in the House of Villains. He retired from the Challenge. There was like a lot of drama about this. Because he was like, I don't have the mental stamina, I don't have the money to start investing all this time. So he went to House of Villains and then showed up in the Traitors. So Wes is great in House of Villains, which has Teresa, which is like a great show to watch. If you're down with Traitors, go watch House of Villains. This is very campy, very fun. Derek was in Big Brother.
Mhm.
And he is a police officer. And so he hid that he was a police officer. Well,
Mhm.
his run, and he ended up winning Big Brother for that reason. But if you know, he's a police officer, so he is like nuanced. He understands like the dynamics of a gamer of how to do this. And then we have Boston Rob, who was hottie in the 2000s, who lost Survivor to his wife because that's kind of like a fun thing.
Right.
So he's a long-time survivor. He's definitely like a schemer. He's a gamer. He's manipulative, and we saw him play the way he wanted to play.
I think I can respect Boston Rob for being who he is and just being authentically him. I have to confess, I was cheering for him in a weird way. And I'm like, what is wrong with
Yeah.
me? You know what? He's charismatic. So, kind of speaking of Boston Rob, I love the bromance between Boston Rob and Dylan. And I get Dylan being enamored with him. And the thing is, I didn't even watch him on television. So, I can't even imagine what it would be like watching him on television and seeing
Yeah.
him really operate. But
Yeah.
seeing him operate on the show was very interesting. Derek was smart and I knew he was a threat. Wes was just a big a-hole. I knew they were going to get out just because he's an a-hole.
Yes, and his speech to get out, he was like, "I hate you all," and I have no idea who got killed.
Oh
I
my
was like,
God.
"Oh, God bless you. You were just being an asshole." But you know what? It makes some interesting TV. So at the end of the day, you either own that you're a villain or you just don't.
Exactly. Then we had Chriselle, who was on Selling Sunset. We have Ciara Miller, who was on Summer House. And then we have Carolyn from Survivor.
So I'm not familiar with Carolyn. I know people who are familiar with her in Survivor. I'm not. She's definitely quirky. She definitely is that actually plays her game and stuff like that. Chriselle, I remember I've been watching Selling Sunset, not for the houses, not for the sales, not for her job, but for the fashion. But I love the season because she was married to Justin Harley in Selling Sunset back in the day. And he broke up with her, and that the whole divorce situation happened on camera. And it was like, because she kept mentioning, it's like, my husband is Justin Harley. My husband is Justin Harley. This is when he was in This Is Us. So it was really funny when he like leaves her and like goes the other way. And just Chriselle has like shown her character growth in Selling Sunset. She then dated one of the twins who's like a shorty, who owns the real estate office that she works at. And then she ended up meeting G Flip, and they ended up getting married. And then she came out as bisexual and all the fun stuff. But it's been a wonderful journey to watch Chriselle go from, former celebrity housewife to be like, I'm coming out of my own. I'm not engaging in this drama. And here we are.
See, I don't know Chriselle, but I do know Ciara from Summer House, and I was very excited to see Ciara. It was good to see her get so far. I wish she would have obviously gotten further. However, Carolyn, I gravitated to Carolyn. I don't watch Survivor, so I don't know Carolyn from anywhere. But I gravitated to Carolyn because from the second she was selected as a traitor, and she was in that turret with Danielle and Bob the drag queen. This is even before Boston Rob comes in the mix. I felt like they weren't listening to her.
Mm-hmm.
I truly felt that. So when she was saying like she didn't feel respected at the reunion, which is a whole separate thing we'll get into, I understood it because I felt like they really didn't take her seriously. They thought that she wasn't, she was all over the place, which yes, she's all over the place. But can I tell you something? When I was watching the show, her confessionals, like her side recordings on her feedback, I agreed with like everything she was saying. Like she was saying, like, we shouldn't be murdering this one. We shouldn't be murdering that one. Like I felt she actually had a better pulse on the game than anyone else. And I
Yeah.
will die on the hill. If Danielle hadn't put her name out there in the beginning,
Mhm.
they could have forged it together to the end.
Yeah.
But Carolyn lost trust in Danielle. So not only were you steamrolling Carolyn in the beginning alongside alongside Bob the drag queen, then Boston Rob comes in and it's like a lot of strong personalities against her. I felt like they weren't listening to her for real. I agreed with all her takes. And then Danielle did that thing. Danielle should not have put Carolyn's name out there. They would have been able to be good, which means Carolyn wouldn't have gone after her. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
maybe they would have gone after each other, but it would have been at like the final round table near the end. But it was wild.
I was sad because I wanted to protect Carolyn at all costs. I was like, I was rooting for Carolyn to win the show. I was like, she needed to win the show. Like, I wanted a traitor to win the show because last season we have Faithful who win the show. So I was like, I wanted, even though these traitors were so messy, where they had no fucking idea what they were doing. They're just like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And it was like, it was so messy and they were playing the game so badly. I was like, Carolyn actually knew what was going on, so she should have won the game. Not this like fake crying and like shaking to get to.
Danielle was doing too much. I'm sorry, she was doing too much. Speaking of which, hold on, let me go down the line.
And it's Danielle.
So we had Sam who was there. Sam was there and I felt was speaking up in the end. You know, I don't know him from Adam, but not much else to say. Tom Sandoval, we don't talk about Tom Sandoval. Moving on. We had Danielle, then we had Brittany, then we had Dolores. We have 3 more people, but for those 3 women, I'm going to say again, I didn't know Danielle from Adam. I didn't know Brittany from Adam. I knew Dolores. And again, housewife historian here, OG Real Housewives of New Jersey fan. And Dolores disappointed me, but then again, it's like, I know I don't know what it's like to be in a house with all these people and having all of these conversations and trying to trust people and play a game. But I was like, where is this Italian loyalty, former correctionals officer, just a human who's been on earth this long? Why was Dolores so wrong so many times?
But you know what? It's actually been for a housewife. I'm thinking about this because we got Sheree last season, who was so clueless about what was going on, and she made it to the very last murder. So in some ways, for a housewife, you have to play dumb and not really go with the flow, because if you feel too smart, they're gonna kill you. So in some ways, it benefit their game for being so wrong. Because Sheree last season was like,
True.
what are we playing? What are we doing? Like in the last day, she was like, I think this is like actually the issue. I'm like, Sheree, we've been playing this for weeks.
Weeks.
Like, what are you doing?
You know what? You're right. You're probably right. But yeah, that was interesting. But can we talk about the Brittany Danielle dynamic? I found that dynamic so interesting.
It really is.
It came front and center closer to the end. Like in the beginning, I wasn't really checking for them. Like I got the history lesson in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think, and this is my gut, I didn't think Danielle was going to trust Brittany. I'm very surprised.
I wouldn't. If she was crying, if Danielle was crying in the very first moment about how Brittany broke her heart and stabbed her in the back, then like it doesn't make sense to then put all your energy on that person. Yes, you were the same history of you were in the Big Brother house and Brittany did a couple seasons and all those different things. But it's still like, it's not, it doesn't make sense. Like Danielle should have like hold on to somebody else like Gabby or even Dolores. Like she should have hold on to someone who has no history background that has stabbed you in the back. Because I'm like, isn't Maya Angelou tells you if someone shows you who they are, believe them? Like, hello. Like,
that part.
Believe them. Like it's not that difficult. You're not that desperate. There's plenty of people in the castle. Not just Brittany. And I like Brittany, but
you know what I'm gonna do? I need to find out what is Danielle's sign, because I need some insight, something that is gonna make sense, because I don't understand. You do that to me one time, I'm good on you. Like we can be cordial, but I'm good on you. Oh,
So
she's
yeah,
an
so
Aquarius.
oh well, there we go.
Interesting. Okay. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm done on you. But Brittany, again, I don't know anything about Brittany. I will say that Brittany's, trying to take down Dylan at the end. I was like, girl, you are doing too much, honey. And the way she was going around to everyone, that enough to me was wrong and problematic. I understand the night before with the whole Danielle thing. I think it was smart her choosing Gabby for the Sia dinner. That was 100% smart.
Yeah.
However, that round table was savage against Dylan. And the way she went out, I was like, girl.
I think she went too hard. I think when you're, and I don't know, like we're coaches on the sideline right now, like, having a Monday night chat. I think there's something to be said about not having to fight so hard for your life, because it shows you, hey, you might have a problem, because it puts a spotlight back on you.
Mm-hmm.
When you're just like teasing around, unless you're a good litigator like Phaedra was. But it's an art. It's not everyone can be Phaedra.
No, and that's why I would get
litigator. And so you have to be very mindful about like the game you're playing. And it's like Brittany was like, put the spotlight on herself. And the reality is like, and even though they didn't even know anything, because at the end of the game they were like, oh, we don't know. We're just gonna play around. We're dumbass. So it really was, yeah.
Last three on the list is Dylan, Ivar, and Gabby. Again, all three people I don't know from Adam. So seeing them on our television screen was very interesting. I knew Ivar was a faithful of all faithfuls. I thought they would have murdered him though.
Yes.
So the fact that he was still there, that was interesting. Dylan, again, faithful of all faithfuls. But again, for real, what Brittany did at that end made it very questionable.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very surprised they all chose to end the game based on the round table. I think they played a respectable game, and that's what I'm going to say. I think this group, when it really got down to it, they just wanted to play a respectable game and end it. I wouldn't ban it. Here's the thing. If you vote to banish, I'm going to vote you out, because I'm like, why do you want to banish?
Well, I think it was like, think about it, and we should compare season 2 to season 3, because faithfuls in this case, spoiler alert, faithful wins. So season 2, we have in the end fire, we have Kate, who is a traitor. We have MJ, is it MJ? And then we have CT and Trishelle, and they knew they needed to get out of Kate because she was a traitor. So they got her out because she made it very obvious. So she made it
obvious. Yeah.
So then CT is like, sir, I know MJ is a faithful, but I don't want to split the money in 3. Like, I want to, like, it's a bulk of money. It's like, that's the whole point of make money. And these are the gamers. So they do another round and they do the same thing. And they blame it like, oh, we didn't know you're faithful. That made it really interesting. This game, they're like, okay, we're just going to like split like less money. And, we didn't have anyone who's like, and Gabby said, it's like, I don't want to be greedy. I'm like, girl.
I just realized something. Let me double check just to verify.
Yeah.
Okay, I found it. None of these finalists were gamers.
No.
Everything you just said, it just dawned on me.
Yeah.
Everything you just said is 100% a gamer move, and none of these folks were gamers. So they're like, look, honestly, this is already stressful enough. Check the house. I don't care. I'll take whatever I get. It might be a little over 50 grand. Then after taxes, I might get 40 grand. I don't care. Yeah. Just get me out of here. Plus, it was cold.
It was cold. It's in July or June. This was in June.
Was it?
Yeah, it recorded because Sierra went to Summer House right after that. That's where Sierra, by the way, if you want to watch Sierra activated on Summer House, this is like, she just filmed it like a week later. She was in Summer House telling West, like, really reading him the riot. Like, it's a great experience. That for Sierra was a great growth experience for her because she found power. She found her voice. And then she's now a better reality TV star because she was in Traitors.
I didn't realize it. I could just tell it's cold. So I would also be team, let's end the game, let's go. Yeah. Okay, I have a quick question though. So, okay, spoiler territory. Now we're really going to talk about the end. We're going to talk about the reunion and just all the things. Okay. So, getting back to the final thing. Okay, let's get back to where the episode started. So, the episode started with us seeing that Brittany voted Danielle out.
Yeah.
I saw that coming. But the way Brittany was so dramatic about it, I was like, sis. And then she had the nerve.
Oops, I did it again.
And then she had the nerve to be at the reunion trying to like fight for her life. I'm like, what are you fighting for your life for? It is what it is. You did what you did, you know? And then Danielle is letting her know, like, sis, that is it with me and you. Like, we can be cordial, but, you know, there is no me and you again. I mean, it was odd to me that she was a bit surprised about that. So that was interesting. And like I said, the way she was going after Dylan was just like, you know, wow. But you know, the way they chose to hide the identity of whether Brittany was like a faithful or a traitor, like what did you think about the decision to kind of add that dynamic to the game?
I don't know. Because I think maybe because they thought if they know she's a traitor, they're not going to end the game. We're going to have more banishment. We're going to start doing more thing. And obviously they assume these are not gamers, so they're not going to banish unless they have to. So we're going to make sure they have like that seed of fear. But they still ended the game.
Yeah, that is true. If it were gamers, if it were gamers, it would be different. I like that they tried to do new things. I like the seer power, though. The seer power, I thought that was like the best addition.
Yes, but we need to give it to an actual faithful, not a traitor. But I think it was great that they gave it to a traitor because in some ways she won, and then she was able to like say, you know, obviously scheme it around it and stuff like that. So yeah, I think the seer power is good. I think that they freshened up the last challenge. It was a little bit boring, but you know, the helicopter was fine. I could not care less about the scavenger hunt and like the boat and like flying. I was like, no, keep it simple. Keep it near, you know, I don't really care about these things.
I like the car bit. I was like, oh, that is so sweet. Because once upon a time, I was into cars. I'm not so much now. But I thought that was sweet. I will say what I missed, what I would have loved was to see them all go back into the castle and just get a little bit more of like their chatter, especially when they found out that Brittany was a traitor. Yeah. I would have loved more like conversation near the end. Yeah.
Like just getting more of the conversation, because that's what's interesting. I don't care. Again, we both don't care about the challenges. That's a time where you can go scroll on social media and get the opinions and get the take on like the water cooler moment. But I really couldn't care less about the challenges, but it was fine, and they got money, and it was fine. I'm here for the game of Mafia, which I used to play back in college. Like, this is a go-to drinking game that we used to play all the time. I went to college before social media, so there's no photographic evidence.
None. I'm kind of happy. You know, we don't have like all that high school uni photographic stuff. No. Reunion real quick.
Yes,
my gosh.
Reunion.
Sorry?
Let's talk about reunion.
Yes. Dorinda was salty. These are my hot takes. I love the fact that they brought out the winners first. And they had that conversation. Then they brought out the traitors, which, by the way, Bob the drag queen coming out.
So fabulous.
Fabulous. Danielle looks amazing. Look, I will give everyone credit. Everyone cleaned up good, including Boston Rob, who got wet.
Boston Rob was like barely making it, but he was like fine.
He was fine. He looked good. Everyone looked good. I will say I loved Ion's dress. Obviously, Ion was going to bring the fashions. Bob the drag queen was going to bring the fashions. Bob H brought the fashions. Everyone, Danielle, Dolores, they all looked fabulous. I could tell Dorinda was salty. Chanel Ion, you know, had her little takes. It was nice kind of seeing them together. I don't really have much except the one standout thing from the reunion was the Oscar Awards for Best Performance in the Castle. That took me out, and I love the replays, and I was like, if Danielle has to win that.
Danielle was like her category all the fucking time. It was like even just the curse word all the fucking time. Like it was not like, oh, it's just like one time. Like everyone else had like one moment. They were like, she was like, her shaking. We reenacted this on Substack so you can look at when she fell and she called. I
did a whole thing.
I told you. I gave you the information. Yes, that won an award.
Girl, that was it. I mean, the reunion was fine. I think what is more interesting, everyone, is the fact that this is how diabolical NBCUniversal is. So they ended us on a cliffhanger last week, which I thought was just cruel and unkind. But this is, again, another unkind punishment, but in a good way. Last week was in a bad way. This week is good because we got the Traitors finale, we got the reunion, and we got the UK version.
Oh my God. I started watching it because I needed to spend time before Traitors finale was going to start. So we have an investigator, a financial investigator, because I love myself a white collar crime investigator. We got a priest. They're savage from the train ride because I love UK is a little bit different. They all have to meet on the train station. They take a train together to the castle. And so like the cars and stuff, like, no, we got the train ride and they're savage from the beginning.
Wow.
So it's like they're like it's just on and the traitors are like coming in and I think these traitors, based on the first 25 minutes, they're gonna be messy. Oh, we have sisters. We have sisters in this traitor. And they're actually coming out. They know they're sisters. Because in the previous season, we had a mother son, and they actually did not disclose that information. Here they disclosed it. So
that is super interesting. I think I like that the UK version, they always come in with like someone who is related to someone. Mm-hmm. I can appreciate that. I don't know why. I think it adds this dynamic which the Americans haven't replicated. So I find that very interesting.
Yeah.
I love the UK version because I had a lot of regular people. I just found a UK picture, so I just put that up. The UK doesn't put lots of celebrities in there, but I'm just excited to see this crew. I think it's going to be fun. I love the UK versions. I wonder if they dropped the New Zealand.
I don't know. No, I don't think new season for New Zealand, but there's Australia, there's New Zealand, and then we have UK. So.
Wow. So that's the Diabolical of NBCUniversal. We have lots to look forward to. We have all the seasons of UK, and we'll probably talk about it over on Substack. So, you can get the weekly feedback on what we're thinking.
Yeah.
But I definitely recommend the UK, even though I haven't started watching it yet, just because it's always a vibe. It's always a vibe.
Yeah. So our weekend watch is watching Traitors UK season 3, and if you haven't watched the previous seasons, you can always watch 1, 2, and 3. FYI, one of the winners from I think season 1, season 2 from Traitors UK shows up in Love Island, and then you can download, you can binge on that, and he's not good in that season, so it's an interesting season. He cheats on the girl and costs on more, so it's a lovely time. So you have like enough weekend watch list. But we'll be back on Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 9 a.m. PST or other times. We're going to go back and we're going to talk about, what are we talking about this week? I don't know.
We are going to talk about, what is February? Irish.
Books set in
Ireland.
St. Patrick's Day, because we got to get ready for St. Patrick's Day. So we have book recommendations coming in on Thursday, 12 p.m. You can also catch us in Substack, or you can find us in Substack. Basically, that's it. So thank you so much for listening. Bye.